can learn anything you want to on the internet.
Yep.
Good or bad.
Yep.
Insert
Right.
Bo Burnham here.
Welcome to the internet.
The hard part is that there's so much information. People know too much.
Yep.
You can spend analysis by paralysis. You can spend so much time just trying to figure out the technical aspects of doing a job.
Yep.
How can people develop their soft skills in a way that they also can focus on increasing their technical skills?
Yeah, I think this is, we live in an information overload era, right? And at some point you just have to do the work. And the difficult thing about leadership is, so like technical skills, you can practice. If you want to get better at video, you get a camera and you start shooting. And there's no real risk, right? It's like you're just figuring it out. You can make mistakes and you learn, and there's safety in that because there's no risk to it. With the soft skills, with leadership, you're practicing in real time with real people. And that's scary. And part of it's like, if you've never had these kinds of conversations or done these things with your team, you're not going to be good at it, right? My son, if he's out pitching for the first time, I can't expect him to throw strikes every time. And he can't expect himself to throw strikes. Like, hey, that's a burden that you're putting on. No, go be bad. And the only way to get good is to be bad first. And so as a leader, or an employee or a player or a coach, whatever, you just have to be willing to be bad at first. Be willing to work through that discomfort. And we talk a lot about this. There's a phrase that I've learned to hate, actually. It's a great phrase, but I've just learned to hate it. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. No, nobody ever wants to be uncomfortable. Like, nobody's gonna choose, like, you know what, discomfort sounds great today. Like, no, so I've started just reframing it because words matter. It's like, this isn't the area of being uncomfortable or discomfort. This is the area of growth. So go choose growth. Like, well, of course I want to grow. I want to get better. Well, then go live in that zone. Go live in the growth zone, which means trying new things. We do what's safe and what's known, which means we get really complacent and really average. And realize whatever you're doing, whatever your job is, it was new at one point. You were bad at it. You were terrible, and you worked at it and you got better. Leadership is no different. Communication is no different. Self-awareness is no different. Mindset is no different. You just do the work and realize that you're going to be bad. And when you screw up, say, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to communicate more to the team. And people know that not everyone's a great communicator. But if they see you making the effort, it makes a difference. And effort goes a long way. For leaders with their team, if they see people making an effort, they can forgive a lot of mistakes. It's like, man, they're trying. They're working at it. They're trying to get better. With leaders, we can forgive a lot of mistakes if, like, man, they're trying. They're not who they used to be. They're trying to get better. And instead of beating them down every time they make a mistake, like, I knew they couldn't change. I knew this wasn't gonna work. Well, that's not helping, right? They're never gonna get better if you don't give them a chance to grow and get better. So if your leader is trying to get better, give them grace in that process. Encourage them, say, hey, I appreciate the effort that you're trying to make. I know this is different. I know it's new. I appreciate it. When's the last time you said to your boss, your coach, your CEO, whatever, hey, I appreciate the effort that you make? We always want that from our leaders. We never give it back to them. But at some point we just have to do the work, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be weird. It's going to be new. But then it's going back to your why. It's like, do you really want to be that kind of person? Well, like, who are you trying to become? Because resistance always kicks in. Right? If you're trying to make change, that resistance kicks in, that fear kicks in, that insecurity kicks in. It's normal. Your vision has to be greater than that resistance. Right? Your vision of who you're trying to become, of where you're trying to go. It's like trying to get healthy. You want to run a marathon. Well, running a mile feels terrible. And you want to quit. There's immediate resistance. It's like, no, you have a vision of, like, I'm going to run a marathon, which means I got to struggle through a mile first, and then a 5K, and then a 10K. And eventually you get better at it. And then you forget how bad you used to be at it. You're like, hey, this isn't so bad. I've gotten pretty good at this. And so it's the same thing with leadership.
Until you actually try to run a marathon, and then you think, this hasn't gotten any easier.
That's right. Like, wait, what have I done? This is terrible.
Why do I do this to
I immediately
myself?
regret this decision.